Lovely. I'm going to jump straight in. So thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for our webinar on The Boy in the Back of the Class. My name is Hayley. I'm the Creative Learning Partnerships Manager for Norwich Theatre. I'm also joined by my colleague Ashley, who works in our marketing team. So we are part of something called the Children's Theatre Partnership, which was established in 2010 to produce and tour bold, ambitious and imaginative theatre for young people. The aim is to excite and engage new and diverse audiences, often introducing them to theatre for the first time, bringing communities to their local theatres, inspiring a lifelong love of theatre and supporting the UK's most talented artists. And obviously, as part of that, we are really excited to be hosting The Boy in the Back of the Class here at Norwich Theatre in April. So I'm joined by Hedda, who is very generously given up her time today to talk to us a little bit more about the production. Hedda is from Fiery Angel and who are one of the co-producers of the show. So I'm going to hand over to Hedda now, who's going to talk a little bit more about what you can expect from the production.
Thanks very much. And first of all, apologies, I've got a terrible comedy cold, so sorry about my snotty nose, you'll forgive me. Thank you very much for joining, and thanks to the theatre for setting this up. I was just saying it's incredibly encouraging to see how active Norwich is being in promoting a show and developing these relationships. It's really important to our work, so thank you very much. We've had a good introduction to the work of Children's Theatre Partnership, CTP. I work for a company called Fiery Angel, and we're actually a commercial producing company, a West End mostly theatre company. But we set up the Children's Theatre Partnership because we felt that there was such a lack of really good quality work for young people, particularly of this sort of age group of upper end of primary, bottom end of secondary. There's quite a lot of good work for younger audiences, and again, once they're older, they can, attend adult shows. So it felt like there was a real sort of gap here for quality work. We've always tried to find shows that will be both entertaining but will have something interesting and pertinent to say to the audiences that we're trying to reach. We've been going now for nearly 10 years, and we have Arts Council support for the work, which means that the work is subsidised, and so we're able to generally offer less expensive tickets than might be the case if we were having to cover the full cost of the production. We're working in this case with the Rose Theatre in Kingston, who are our co-producers and where the show is opening. We're just at the end of rehearsals at the moment. I think probably most of you will know the book already. It's been an incredibly popular book and very well read over its life. And I think one of the things that really attracted us to it, and I think why it's been so popular, is that it has such a warm heart to it, that it's both looking at really quite difficult issues, but has a great deal of humanity about it. And I think, having met Anjali Rauf, who is the author of the book, as you know, she does a great deal of work herself with refugee charities, and indeed runs a charity of her own, which provides support for refugees. And it's that sense of, I think refugees are often talked about as a group, as a clump of people, refugees. And this book very much focuses on the idea of each refugee is a person, and this child has a family, and just really thinking about it in those very human terms. And I think that's one of the reasons it's really touched a nerve with people, as well as it's great fun and it's a great adventure story too. The book has been adapted by Nick Ahad, who's also a journalist, and we have a company of 10 actors who tell the story, and it's very true to the book, basically. But I think it's got, having been in the rehearsal room, it has a real vitality to it, has a real fun to it. The company are very young and very diverse. And indeed, Fash, who plays Ahmed, the boy at the back of the class, was himself a refugee who came over at the age of, I think he was 6 when he came over. So he has been a most interesting person to have in the rehearsal room as having had that experience himself. I think the audiences coming away from it will, I hope, feel they've had a great and entertaining show, that they've enjoyed seeing again the characters that they perhaps know from the book, and also it gives them an opportunity to go away and think for themselves about the issue that the book covers. And also, I suppose it's that idea that children themselves can be activists and change the world if they want to, and want to try to do that. And I think that's again an important part of the message of the book. It may not be in this particular arena to do with refugees, but I think as we all see with areas such as ecology, which really is an area that young people feel incredibly strongly about and have shown their own activism in those areas. So I think this book supports that approach to the world for young people. I think that's probably all I've got to say, but if you've got questions, I'd be very happy to answer them, or things I haven't covered.
Feel free to unmute yourselves if you've got any quick questions for Hedda there. Just give it a little pause. No? Brilliant.
Hedda, I've just got one question, if it's all right, and hopefully this isn't too much of a spoiler. The book itself is told from a child's perspective. I was just interested to understand how that comes across on stage.
Yes, they are all played by adults. We don't have to, so it's an entirely adult cast. But I think that's one of the joys of theatre, actually, that you completely buy that they're children. And we've been very much at pains not to do that awful thing of doing children acting, if you know what I mean. They're people, and I hope we've yet to see it in front of an audience till next week, but I hope that comes across well. But yes, they are all adults, and some of them move between playing a number of parts. The 18, the kind of core of the company, all are largely playing themselves, and then there's some others around it who play the different characters that the children meet in their life.
Brilliant. Thank you, Hedda. Any other last questions there? No? Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time, Hedda. It's really great to hear a bit more about the production. And if anyone has any other questions, we're going to pause slightly later on and you can ask them there. But I'll let you go, Hedda, and we hope you feel better.
Thank you. And thanks very much for your time and interest in the show, and look forward to you seeing it in Norwich. Thanks very much. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
you. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Brilliant. So I'm just going to talk for a little bit now about some of the wraparound activities that we're going to have as part of the show visiting us in April. So the first thing is a CPD session, which will be running on the 20th of March from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. And this will be a teacher's CPD focused on bringing the text to life. So this will be led by a Norwich theatre practitioner, and they will be using the education pack, which was created by the Blackpool Grand, and working through some of the exercises that use drama to bring the text to life. That will also include a copy of the book, so each teacher will go away with a copy of the text. The education pack, obviously, with all of the exercises that are covered on the day, and we'll also be providing lunch and refreshments, which is always lovely. So those places will be subsidised. So it's usually £25 because it's part of our Teacher Network programme. So if anyone's an annual member, you'll access a free space, but we also have other free spaces for teachers who are interested in coming along. So a really great way to explore some exercises that you can take back to the classroom. Then obviously the show will be coming to us the week beginning the 22nd of April. So we'll be holding a teacher ambassador event on Tuesday, the 23rd of April from 6 p.m. So as part of that, we'll be giving 20 free tickets to see the show to our teacher ambassadors, of which we hope you will be one. And with that, we'll have a networking space with drinks and refreshments from 6 p.m. and then a free ticket to watch the show before you come with your school. So a great opportunity to meet other teachers, potentially some of those who have been a part of the CPD, and also to see the show before you bring your classes. Obviously, then we will have the show with us that week as well. So our school's performances are on Wednesday, the 24th and Thursday, the 25th of April. So that will be when you can bring your classes along to watch. And then following the show visiting us, we're going to put in a teacher ambassador post-show meetup, which will happen sometime in May. So we've still got the date and the time to be confirmed for that. But that will be an opportunity to kind of share any sort of classroom learning, any student responses that you've collected kind of following either the CPD session or watching the show. So an opportunity to share what you've taken away and what students have taken away as part of the project. And we'll also, as part of that meeting, we'll be launching the book that we'll be exploring next year as part of CTP. So hopefully that you can embed that when you're planning your curriculum texts for next spring.